So one of my fists we fire starters. One out of a million marine show sights. Always in the feeling that I won't deny that work. Never could toss. Look at my eyes. I'm on the rocks. Rise.
Okay guys, so getting into driving the car now. This car, as you know, has a JDM motor swap. It has a B20 out of a Honda CR-V, and it's a 2-liter compared to the 1.8-liter engine that came in this car originally. This is not a GSR, it's just a regular B18. But, however, neither one of these engines came with vtec, but I have driven a standard Integra with the B18, and I have driven this Integra, and I have to say, the B20, it's not fast, but it's a lot more quicker and fun because you get all that low-end torque with the motor swap. Another cool thing about this is, you know, B-Series is always kind of great with this, is this has a motor swap in the car, and I still have complete power steering and air conditioning, which is super rare for a swap. Now, don't get me wrong, K-Series, H-Series, all that, those are awesome, but if you live anywhere near something hot, aka Texas, you have to have AC. It's just, yeah, you have to. So, getting into the rest of the car, other than the motor swap, when I bought this thing, it was basically completely stock, other than the exhaust, which I switched in favor for a stock exhaust due to the fact that it was just so loud, I could barely even hear myself think. But, getting into the actual review, so this car, the Acura Integra, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but I do recall seeing a video and seeing some articles that of the 90s, this was one of the best handling front-wheel drive cars you could purchase from the 90s. And then driving this thing, I can absolutely agree with that, at least, because you just have confidence in this thing. Like, it hugs the road. Even all I have is just some, not even super grippy, just basic Nitto tires, and the rest of the car's stock suspension, everything like that. And this car absolutely hugs the road. It has a lot of feedback in the steering wheel and in the feeling of the car. You can definitely feel what's happening, which is an awesome thing. Because, you know, all these newer cars are starting to get, you know, the electric power steering and all that stuff. And, I mean, yeah, I get it, but for an old car, it's a lot more fun because you can feel the road communicating with you a lot. So that's a good thing. So, that being said, you can go around the corner and just start having fun, and you can feel if you're going to lose it, or you can feel if you're going to hold on to it, which is just so much fun because on a back road, even with a stock motor, this thing is just absolutely awesome to drive. So another thing too in this car is that it does have, like I mentioned, the B20 swap. Now, Hondas are just such a popular car, Hondas and Acuras, just because two things is, one, they're cheap to buy and modify, and two, it's like more of a fun factor, honestly. It's like kind of the FRS. If you've ever driven an FRS, you'll kind of understand what it's like to drive one of these, or a Civic Si, because it's not a fast car by any means, but it is a quick car, and just how the car feels, and then these cars are pretty light. You can definitely feel like you're just going down the road, and that's why you see a whole bunch of people in little Hondas just, you know, rocketing down the road, because it feels like you're going a lot more faster than you actually are, so it's a lot of fun. So, why I love the Integra so much is because you can pick one of these up, GSR or not. You can buy a pretty clean example for under $3,000, which is really good because you might get lucky and either get, one, a GSR, or two, a car like this with either a B20 swap or a B18 with a vtec head or something like that. Now, you can also, another thing about this motor too, the B20, is it's called what Frankenstein, kind of what you can do to it, is you can either get a B18 or B16 vtec head and slap it on here so you have the torque and you have the vtec, which is awesome. So that's what hopefully one day will happen. But you have to, one thing keep in mind is that the sleeves in these B20s are not as strong as the B18 motor, which is a little, you got to keep that in mind because you can't exactly push these motors that hard. Keep in mind it did come out of an SUV, not another sports car. another favorable thing about these cars that a lot of people seem to enjoy is that just the styling of the car, what you can do to it either modification-wise or stock, these Integras always just look super, super good. Either with the USDM front end like this one, or if you get lucky, you can get a JDM front end. It's up to you, the choice is yours, and everybody does what they want, and the aftermarket scene for these cars is absolutely ridiculous. So you can find anything you need for any part on this car like that, and it's super cheap to modify too, which is another cool thing. That's why a lot of people honestly start with Hondas and things like that, because it's a great platform to start with, and then everything's extremely affordable for these cars. So I would honestly recommend either a Civic or an Integra or something along those lines for your first car. If you're a younger car enthusiast, I would definitely recommend picking one of these up. You can either, like I said, an Integra or an EK Civic or EG, whatever. You can find a really good condition manual transmission one for under $3,000, and then you can modify it to whatever you want. It's a nice introduction to car culture, modifications, and everything like that. It's just, it really inspires fun. And even like me, for example, you can be already into cars and you can pick this one up and you can do anything you want to them, honestly. You can do track, you can do street, you can do stance. Everybody has their own thing, and that's the beauty of these Hondas and things like that, is because you can truly do anything you want to them. And for cars, honestly, that's a big thing for me, because you can either go crazy, you can go subtle, and I like to build cars the way I want, so that's a good thing too. But I know I've been talking long enough, so I'm pretty sure you guys want to see what it is to drive a B20 Integra doing a pull. So let's go ahead and show you. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's a ton of fun to do pulls in this thing, and even with a stock B18, like I said, this car is pretty light, and it's also just, you get all that engine noise, so you're just, even though if you're not going that fast, you're having fun the whole way there, and you are getting there a little quick, which is really fun too. Now, I would recommend, you know, obviously going vtec or, you know, turbo, because that's what a lot of people do, because it makes the car just that much more fun too. So another thing is that you see a lot of people with these cars, they bolt on turbo, something like that, and they get them so powerful to where, you know, it's just nothing but wheel spin for the first few gears. And honestly, it's kind of fun to see that and just to have that experience, because, you know, you're just going all out and it's just so much drama that it's fun. Like, you're not going that fast, but it's just all that drama is what's fun. And then you get that traction, you just fly down the road. Obviously not in this motor right here, but I'm just saying, that's what is so much fun about it. This car is just straight up a fun factor, honestly. Now, would I recommend buying one of these? Absolutely. I would definitely do your hardest to just look on Craigslist, you know, Facebook Marketplace, whatever like that, and you can honestly pick up, like I said, a clean example of this, Honda in general, for under $3,000. I got this car for only $1,700, which is awesome. So, if you're on the fence about buying one of these cars, I would highly recommend buying it. Another thing too, junkyards, part outs, they are everywhere. I can get any part I need for this car almost instantly. And it's just a lot of fun too. Like I said, if you're a beginner to cars and things like that, it's a lot better to start on one of these where, you know, you have your access to, say you get into a small wreck and you need a new door. You can go get a new door for an Integra from the junkyard for $60, which is super cool. And it's just a nice learning experience overall, because you can see all the fun side of cars, plus you can see all the downsides and frustrations of cars, because believe me, they are there. Alright everybody, I think that's where I'm going to end this car review today. It felt super good to do another review. I'm sorry we haven't, it's just been really busy with jobs and everything like that. But I'm hoping this new camera equipment really helps out, makes the videos more stable and things like that. I really hope you enjoyed. We are going to make more car reviews very soon. We make videos every single week, either car reviews, installs, or stuff we just do to the car in general. And if you really like the video and you want to see us do more of them, please help us by liking and subscribing. So that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next week, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.